Hello, biology students. I am creating this screencast to piggyback off of the syllabus that you were given in yesterday's folder. You were given a Google Doc version of the syllabus. This is just a little bit more of a detailed review for those of you who benefit from having somebody kind of explain to you what is in this screencast and what's on your syllabus. Now, my Bitmoji is going to have to suffice for this screencast. I don't always want to be on camera. Excuse me. Now, yesterday we did some brief introductions. I'm not really sure if I gave you my credentials. I know my hair was different. That does change a lot. But here are my basic credentials as far as education goes. I have a bachelor's degree in biology from the University of Delaware. I also have a master's degree in education, also from the University of Delaware. I am a blue hen at heart. Now, my master's degree is in a concentration of secondary school science with a focus on curriculum and instruction, which is basically what we teach, what we do every day here in this course. You guys have the benefit of having a teacher with, at this point now, 21 years of teaching experience. I'm going into my 21st year. And in addition to teaching biology, I've also taught physical science as well as anatomy and physiology. Most of my time has been spent here at Hodson. I did my student teaching at Christiana. Now, in this course, it is my hope that biology does grow on you. This is an actual poster from my classroom. I'm just going to kind of explain to you how the layout of this course is going to operate. Our first unit is biology as a science. It's about a week long. And in this unit, we're going to look at the foundation of the course. We're going to look at characteristics of living things, what makes something alive. We're going to look at sort of areas and themes of biological study. We're going to look at levels of organization, sort of understanding how matter is organized in living things. And then we're going to look a little bit at human impact on the environment and on ecosystems around Earth, with a little bit of a focus on climate change. That is going to lead us very nicely into Unit 2. Unit 2 is the ecology unit. Now, this is a fairly large unit. It's probably going to take us to the end of the marking period. This unit focuses on matter, what kinds of matter living things are made of, how living things use matter and energy to drive the processes of life. That's called metabolism. We're going to focus heavily on two processes that you should have been introduced to in middle school: photosynthesis and cellular respiration. We're going to look at all the details there. We're going to look at climate change and this concept of the carbon cycle and how human activity and what we're doing with chopping trees and burning fossil fuels and how that's all contributing to global climate change. In the ecology unit, we're also going to look at how energy flows in ecosystems, sort of food webs, food chains. Some of this stuff you should have seen in middle school. And if you didn't, no worries, you'll see it here in biology. Unit 3 is the genetics unit. This is a very large unit. This will be the start of our next marking period. We're going to spend a lot of time talking about cells and disease. That'll be our real world phenomenon, looking at this molecule DNA and how this molecule basically has the instructions that tell cells what to do and how it codes for proteins and how those proteins code for traits that you can actually see, like eye color and hair color. We're going to look at these packages of DNA called chromosomes, and we're going to look at how cells divide. We're going to look at the connection between cell division and cancer. And we're also going to look at sexual reproduction, looking at genes and traits and how they're passed from parents to their children and how those traits can vary as they are passed from parents to children, or offspring as we call them in biology. So genetics is a fairly large unit. And then the last unit is the evolution unit, which is Unit 4. That's about a quick week and a half wrap up. In this unit, we look at biodiversity, this huge variety of life on our planet. We look at a man by the name of Charles Darwin and this concept of natural selection and how species evolve and change over time. We're going to look at some of the evidence that supports this theory of evolution. And we're also going to come back and revisit cells and disease and talk about why evolution matters today, with a focus on superbugs and antibiotic resistance and how certain viruses and bacteria are becoming resistant to drugs and how that's a problem for us. So those are the 4 units of our course. Excuse me. Sorry, I've got a tickle in my throat. Now, grading policy, you should already know this from your other classes. 70% of your grade is summatives. These are going to be your tests, some of your projects, which will span multiple days. Your quizzes are going to be summatives. Also, lab activities, some of them are going to be graded as summatives, as well as some of your Google Doc assignments will be graded as summative or heavily weighted assignments. Everything else is formative. Big rule of thumb, if it's in the folder, assume that I'm grading it. I don't have you do assignments just for nothing. Everything that is in the folder is going to be graded, and you already know the grading scale. Yesterday, you guys told me what grade you expect to get in this course in your exit survey. Everybody's expecting to pass, so let's do what we need to do to make sure that we pass. Your final grade, keep in mind 40% is marking period 1 and 2, or if you're in the spring semester, it's going to be marking periods 3 and 4. And then the other 20% of the course grade is your final exam, which you will take at the end of the period. So this is how your final grade for the course is calculated. Keep in mind that you definitely need to have some supplies on hand in order to be successful in this course. You obviously are going to need to have your Chromebook charged with internet access. I know that this can become, problematic if you have Wi-Fi issues. I can be flexible with that, but you're obviously going to need working internet in order to complete your lessons in Schoology. You want to also make sure that you have some sort of writing paper, maybe a binder, or you can have a composition notebook, something for you to do your written assignments in, because you will submit screenshots of written assignments occasionally. For those of you who told me yesterday that your home life is a little bit chaotic, I'm going to strongly recommend that you have some earbuds. That can definitely tone down on distractions. I believe the school will give you earbuds if you need them. And then you're also going to need your course folder that you're going to set up in your Google Drive. That is something that we're going to do later on in today's lesson. You'll set up your biology folder in your Google Drive, and then all of the assignments that you do throughout the course will go in that folder. When we talk about some expectations, here's some basic expectations. It is expected that you be present on time, right? Whether it's an asynchronous day or a synchronous day, you are expected to be in class on time, complete and submit your work on time. That's during your class period. Now, I understand that you may have issues. Please communicate, ask questions, send me a message in Schoology if you're confused or if you're struggling. Please don't plagiarize. Do not cheat. Do not give your work to your classmates or people in another class. You already know the district policy for that, for academic dishonesty. And again, the assignments that you do in this course aren't that difficult. So please do your own work, because that's really going to be the best way for you to learn. As far as what you're going to be doing, everything is going to take place in Schoology, right? Now, there are a couple of other learning platforms that we'll be using later on, but almost all of your work is submitted to me in Schoology. Your lessons are in Schoology. At this point, you should be able to find and access the daily folders, right? They publish at the start of your class period. And in those folders is where you're going to find all of your assignments to complete for that day. Keep in mind the layout of our course in Schoology, right? You have a course announcement. This does change every single day. At the start of the day, I will post a new course announcement. You have your week at a glance, which gives you the preview, kind of snapshot of what we're doing for the entire week. And then your lesson folders are published one day at a time. They correspond with the week at a glance. This is where you're going to find the actual activities that you're going to do in Schoology. I got a couple questions about the calendar in your exit ticket yesterday. I don't really use this calendar very often. Once in a blue moon, I might post some extra credit. But generally speaking, you need to go to the lesson folders in order to get the assignments. Find them in the folders, work your way through the folders, because that's where your work is going to be. Now, speaking of your folders, keep in mind every folder has a date, right? And in there you have your district and your biology attendance check, right? One for the district, one for me. You have this what to do note. Please, please, please read the what to do note. And then you have assignments that are completed in order. Please don't skip over things. There are actually, while we're thinking about it, there was a hazard communication quiz from yesterday, which several of you did not complete. So heads up, if you didn't do that, please make sure you do that. And then the folders that you have always have a completion setting, meaning there are certain things that you need to do in order to complete the lesson. What you want to do on your end is look for this green check. When you see this green check, that means that you've completed everything in the folder. If you do not see a green check, then that means something in that folder was not done. You were supposed to click on something, you were supposed to view or submit something. So please make sure that you are completing the lessons every day. And again, look at the what to do note so that you know what you need to do in order to complete the lesson. When you submit your work in Schoology, everything is going to be submitted in one of three ways. It'll be either maybe a Google Doc. Sometimes you'll have to take a screenshot of an assignment. Sometimes I'm going to ask you to use your camera to take a picture of something. And you're going to get some practice with doing those different types of submissions in today's lesson. Quick review, how to take a screenshot on your Chromebook, right? You can hit the control and then the camera and it will screenshot. Now, if you're not using your Chromebook and you're using another type of computer, you can Google, how do I do a screenshot on a Dell laptop? And there are literally hundreds of videos out there on Google and in YouTube to help you figure out how to do screenshots. But if you're using your Chromebook, this will help you out in today's lesson, right? Control and the camera. So I did look that up for you because you will be doing a screenshot for me today. When you submit pictures of your work in Schoology, sometimes you'll do that. Please make sure that you look at the picture, right? Make sure that it's clear and visible to you, because if you can't see it, then I can't see it. And if I can't see it, then I can't grade it. Now, usually I'll be able to zoom in, but please make sure that you have lighting, make sure that you're using a color writing utensil that I can see, because again, if I can't see it, I can't grade it. When it comes to late work, I am flexible. I prefer for your work to be done on time, but I understand that sometimes life happens and you maybe forget something and you can't get it done. You can do work for me up to 4 days late, right? First 3 days, I'm taking 10% off the top. 10% of the point value of the assignment comes off the top for the first 3 days that it's late. After 4 days, you lose 20%. And then anything after that fourth day, it's a zero, and that zero remains permanent. Now, keep in mind, I am flexible. I know that we are living in a pandemic. I know that we've had, deaths and illnesses in families. So, I can be flexible, and better late than never. So, I'm flexible when it comes to late work, but rule of thumb is to get it done on time during your class period. Now, speaking of getting your work done, especially on asynchronous days, sometimes links don't work. Sometimes I'll say, hey, open this document or click on this website, and it doesn't work. If that happens, you have to communicate with me. Sometimes it can be just a matter of me refreshing the link, or I can fix it and tell you what's going on. I mean, I know technology can be quite frustrating, but for you to just not do the assignment because you couldn't see it or it wouldn't load right, that's not an excuse. Tell me if something's going on, send me a message in Schoology, and I can definitely help you and figure out what's going on, fix the link, but definitely communicate if something's not working on your end so that I can figure out what's going on. I'm going to say this a lot throughout this course. Communication is key, right? I am available 8:30 to 3 p.m. every day. Outside of those hours, I probably am not going to be as available. Keep in mind, during your class period, I am all yours, right? So get your work done during class so that I can help you if you need it. Keep in mind, you can communicate with me via Schoology message, or you can send me an email. But if you're in school and you're a student, Schoology message is definitely the way to go. Keep in mind my class schedule, right? You know your class time, 1, 2, 5, 6, or 7, 8. My planning period is period 3, 4. So again, when you communicate, if it's during your class time, I'm right there to help. If it's outside of your class time, then keep in mind that I have other courses that I'm teaching. I also have meetings and things that I'm doing. So I'm all yours during your class period. Outside of your class period, it might not be as easy to catch me. So do the work during your scheduled class time. If you need extra help, I love this meme. Don't ask, but yes, I could use some help. I'm here. There's live links to Teams meetings. You can send me a message in Schoology. If you need help, I'm here to help you. I got you. But again, keep in mind, I do have other things to do. So please don't think I'm sitting around twiddling my thumbs waiting for you to reach out. Catch me during your class period so that I can help you when you need it. Outside of that time, might not be so easy. So at this point, I've given you a virtual review of this syllabus. You have the Google Doc version of the syllabus from yesterday that I gave you. At this point, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, message me. I'm here to help. We are all in this together. If you need to rewatch this screencast, go for it. And other than that, you can continue with the remainder of the work that is in your folder for today. Have a good one.